Welcome back to my channel, and here's the final part of my Paris vlog. I'm going to walk you through my recommendations in terms of cafes, places to eat, and things to do all around Paris, as well as how much everything costs. Traveling can get expensive, so I hope this is helpful for those of you that are planning. First stop is Café de Flor. It's probably the most touristy cafe in all of Paris. Not a single time have I seen a local there, but if you want some cute Instagram pictures, this is where you want to be. To be honest, the food wasn't amazing, but we come for the vibes and the decor. But the real reason we stopped by Café de Flor is because our next stop, Musee D'orsay, was only a 15-minute walk from there. So after a few sips of coffee and a croissant, we walked over to the museum. With any popular museum in Paris, I highly recommend booking tickets in advance online so you're not stuck waiting in line to get in, because they can get pretty long. I came to this museum a couple times in the past and wanted to go again because there are world-renowned paintings in here that we are so used to seeing only in our history textbooks. And not to mention, the architecture of the museum is also beautiful, so there are tons of photo ops. Something we love doing in Paris is walking everywhere because you never know what hidden gems you'll find. The streets are so cute, and discovering new places by foot was one of our favorite things to do. We stumbled upon the outside of this museum and took pictures. There really is no such thing as taking a bad picture in Paris because everywhere is so beautiful. We walked around this small shopping street which had a ton of cute boutiques and ended up buying a t-shirt. The street is mostly made up of cobblestone, and it can be very busy because it is a small street with a lot of people. I also heard that here they have one of the best falafels, so if you have time to grab any, try it out for me and let me know how they are. So we're just trying to kill some time before our dinner reservation at 7:30. We're actually going to an Italian restaurant called Carbonis. I heard it's really good. The weather today is also perfect. We're just gonna have dinner and then probably call it a night early today because tomorrow we have a full day ahead of us since we're spending the entire day at the Palace of Versailles. We made reservations way in advance for this restaurant because I heard it's one of the best Italian foods in Paris. First, the interior of the restaurant was very romantic and it was a vibe, okay? It was like homey and comforting but elegant at the same time. We ordered a bunch of appetizers, and I'm not gonna lie, every dish we had here was amazing. If I'm ever in Paris, I'd want to go here again. There wasn't a dish that we didn't like, and we left very full and very satisfied. To be honest, I was skeptical because I've seen this restaurant pop up on TikTok, and most of the restaurants that are recommended on TikTok aren't really that good, but this one was 10 out of 10. Like, I don't know what my favorite dish was because everything was just so good. Afterwards, we decided to walk back to our hotel and caught the sunset by the Seine River, and it was the most magical sunset I've ever seen. It looked like it came straight out of a Van Gogh painting. Like, look at that!
And I truly love to talk about your lovers, old and new.
If you're visiting Paris, make sure you slot in one full day to visit the Palace and Garden of Versailles. This is probably the most beautiful palace I visited. It's so cool to see what they built hundreds of years ago and how the palace grew over time. But be very wary as the inside of the palace will be packed with a ton of people. Like, I don't even think it matters what day of the week you go, it'll just be crowded all the time. At one point, we felt like we were sardines in a can because we had to move an inch at a time. So the downside is that we couldn't really stop to look at most of the artwork because the crowd was just massive. The highlight for most is the Hall of Mirrors, which again, very crowded but still very beautiful. We got hungry after all that walking, so we went to Angelina, which is conveniently located inside the palace. The prices were quite high, but the food was actually really good. Each dish was plated very nicely as well, so it felt pretty fancy. Angelina is known for their desserts, but especially known for their hot chocolate. and like don't come for me, but if you don't like really thick dark chocolate, I don't think you'll enjoy this one because it's very heavy. But the other cakes and pastries were really good. We came to the garden now, and it is so wide, it's huge, but it's so beautiful. The Garden of Versailles was the highlight of my entire visit. I have never been to a garden so huge in my life. The fountains, the details, the trimming of the grass, the trees, everything was perfect. It makes me wonder how they maintain this huge garden so well. Also, everything is symmetrical, so it was really pleasing to look at. Sometimes they have fountain shows at night, so be sure to check out their website if you want to plan ahead. We just rented a bike. It literally felt like we were shooting a movie. It was so fun and a great way to see everything without having to walk a ton. So we just got back to the hotel, and now we're about to wait in line to finally try this restaurant. Every time we checked, there was a huge line. So today we came at around 9 p.m. The line is still huge, but we just want to try it at this point because we've been anticipating it for so long, and it's also right by our hotel. I really hope it's worth the wait. No, but seriously, this restaurant has been raved about all over TikTok and Instagram and even word of mouth. At this point, we were just so curious about it, so we decided to wait in line. We waited for about 40 minutes since it wrapped around the corner. Don't hate me, but I don't really think this was worth it. Worth the price? Yes, but worth the wait? No. You do get free refills of the steak and fries, but it wasn't mind-blowingly good. It was actually pretty mid in my opinion. I'm sure there are other steak and fry places that are better. If you're visiting Paris, you're probably going to end up doing some shopping. I recommend this mall if you want to browse around and shop for any luxury goods. Shopping in Paris is great because if you're a visitor, you get the VAT refund, which is when you spend 100 euros or more at any given store and receive about 20% back when you go to the airport. A lot of travelers will purchase luxury goods since you can get a good chunk of it back. And if you get hungry while shopping, this cafe/restaurant is really cute. As you can see, everything is pink, so if you want some Instagram shots, this is where you do it. But not only is the place cute, but the food is also really good. Okay, yeah, it's a bit overpriced, but it's inside a luxury mall, so I wasn't even surprised. Also, this restaurant is originally based in London. But the highlight of this meal was definitely the dessert. Oh my gosh, I still think about these cakes and my mouth is watering while editing because these were so good. You can also purchase whole cakes or individual slices for takeaway. Oh, and don't forget to visit the rooftop of this mall for amazing views of the Eiffel Tower. We're not done with shopping yet until we go to Rue Cambon. The street is famously known for the first ever Chanel store. I couldn't really film too much, but the store was massive, and every purchase comes with a unique white shopping bag that is special to this specific store. Then we made our way to Parfums de Marly, which is a perfume brand that's really hard to come by since there's not a lot of standalone stores in the world. Their fragrances are so luxe, and we each had such a hard time choosing a scent because they're all amazing. I've seen this restaurant on TikTok. I know, TikTok influences me a lot. We sat on the outdoor patio, which was nice, and started off by ordering appetizers. We all agreed that the appetizers were way better than the entrees. It was to the point where we got so hyped about this place because the appetizers were great, but once the entrees came out, they were a bit of a flop. So lesson learned, TikTok recommendations are not always the best way to get recommendations because a lot of those videos actually come from tourists too, not locals. But we still enjoyed our time here because of the vibes. This independent Parisian bookshop has a selection of articles in the fields of fashion, design, photography, architecture, and other art books and magazines. They also sell artsy postcard and limited edition fashion accessories. I ended up getting a tote bag from here and it's really cute. It's a small store with lots to see and there's even a small gallery in the back, but keep in mind they can't ship out art pieces, so if you see something you like, you're going to have to ship it yourself or pack it in your luggage. Next up is a store called Merci. It's a super trendy 3-story boutique with a really large space and a glass roof. These Merci tote bags are really popular and I see all the Instagram girlies posting about them. I'd say they sell pretty much anything you can think of here. From homeware to clothing to accessories, shoes, postcards, and little trinkets. I didn't buy anything from here, but it was just really fun to browse around because they had some really unique pieces. I think if you're getting gifts for people, this would be a really great spot to check out too. For our final meal in Paris, we really thought hard about where we wanted to eat, and we all agreed that we want to go to this restaurant again because it was just so good the first time. This was a restaurant we randomly stumbled upon, so none of those TikTok recommended restaurants could compare to this one that we randomly found because some locals were dining in it. I think Paris is one of those places you need to know somebody to get around and give recommendations because truly these hidden gems were the best. And that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on my Paris adventures, and leave a comment down below if you have any other recommendations for people. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!